Most people spend their entire lives saving money, and most people die with almost nothing. That is not a coincidence. Saving money is not the same as building wealth, and confusing the two is the most expensive mistake a person can make. My name is Santosh, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who do everything right, who save, who budget, who avoid debt, still end up financially stuck. If you are someone who has money sitting in a savings account, and you are wondering why it never seems to grow into something real, this video is for you. Make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you.
Here is what most people believe about money. They believe the goal is to save as much as possible. Keep it safe. Do not lose it. And one day, all that discipline will pay off. It sounds logical. It is what most of us were taught, but here is the brutal truth. A savings account is not a wealth-building tool. It is a parking lot, and your money is just sitting there, slowly losing value every single year to inflation. The average savings account in the United States pays less than 0.5% in interest. Inflation runs at roughly 2 to 3% in normal years, and much higher in others, which means every year you leave your money in that account, you are not keeping it safe. You are watching it shrink in real terms, quietly, invisibly, in a place that feels responsible. That is the trap. It feels like the right thing to do, and that feeling is exactly what keeps people broke. Meet Claire. She is 31 years old, lives in Toronto, Canada, and works as a marketing manager, earning $65,000 a year. Claire is disciplined. She is not frivolous. She packs her lunch 3 times a week, skips the expensive gym, and works out at home. And every month, she puts $500 into her savings account like clockwork. She has been doing this for 4 years. She has around $22,000 saved up, and she feels proud of that. And she should. But here is what Claire does not know. She is working incredibly hard to stand almost completely still. Claire has never invested. Not because she does not want to, because investing feels complicated. It feels risky. It feels like something people do when they already have a lot of money. She tells herself she will figure it out eventually, but eventually never comes. And every month, the gap between where she is and where she wants to be quietly gets wider. What is happening to Claire is not a discipline problem. It is a knowledge gap combined with a very human psychological response, the fear of loss. Psychologists have found that the pain of losing money feels roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the same amount. This is called loss aversion, and it is the reason so many people park their money somewhere that feels safe, even when that safety is an illusion. The savings account feels safe. The stock market feels like gambling. So people choose the feeling of safety over the reality of growth, and they pay for that choice with decades of lost compounding. Here is what the numbers actually show. If Claire takes that same $500 per month and invests it in a simple index fund, something that tracks the broad market and has historically returned around 7 to 10% annually, here is what happens. After 10 years, she does not have $60,000. She has roughly $87,000. After 20 years, she has over $250,000. After 30 years, close to $600,000. Same $500 per month, same discipline. Completely different destination. The only variable is where the money goes. That is the power of compounding. Albert Einstein reportedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. And the only way to access it is to put your money somewhere it can actually grow. The big mistake most people make is treating wealth building like a reward, something you do after you feel secure enough, after you understand enough, after you earn enough. But wealth does not work that way. Wealth is built by starting before you feel ready, because the longer you wait, the more of the most valuable asset you have, time, you throw away. Financially successful people do not wait until they have it all figured out. They start simple, they stay consistent, and they let time do the heavy lifting. So what can you do starting today? First, open an investment account if you do not already have one. In the US, a Roth IRA or a brokerage account through platforms like Fidelity or Vanguard takes about 15 minutes to set up. In Canada, a TFSA. In the UK, a stocks and shares ISA. These accounts exist specifically to help regular people build wealth with tax advantages. Second, start with a simple index fund. You do not need to pick stocks. You do not need to understand every market movement. A total market index fund gives you ownership in hundreds of companies at once. Automatically diversified, low cost, and historically one of the best performing investments available to everyday people. Third, automated. Set up a recurring transfer on payday so the money moves before you can spend it or second guess yourself. Automation removes the emotional decision every month. It turns investing from a choice into a habit. Fourth, do not touch it. The biggest wealth killer is panic. Markets go up and down. That is normal. The people who win are not the ones who time the market. They are the ones who stay in it. Claire does not need a second job. She does not need to find the next hot stock. She needs one thing: to move her money from a parking lot to a place where it can actually work for her.
And so do you. You have already done the hard part. You saved, you showed up, you built the habit. Now it is time to make that habit count for something bigger than a number that barely moves. Your savings are not your destination. They are your starting point. The question is, starting today, are you going to let them sit still, or are you going to put them to work? The answer to that question will define the next 30 years of your life.